was in Mumbai picking up my son, Judah, that we had adopted. We were staying at the Four Seasons, and this was a 5-star hotel. And it was the first time I stayed at a 5-star hotel. And believe me, it won't be the last. But Nisha and I had stayed in many different hotels in the past, and some were sketchy, to say the least, not even qualified for 1 star. So staying at a 5-star hotel was an experience we'll never forget. We were served at the highest level, from the time we checked in to the time we checked out. We didn't have to carry our bags. We didn't have to wait in lines. We didn't have to ask for anything extra in the room, as everything was taken care of ahead of time. We were treated like royalty. Not only was this our first time staying at a 5-star hotel, this was the first time I felt a little privileged. This feeling of entitlement started to rise up, with the status that came along with advantages. You see, this 5-star hotel was located right by the slums of Mumbai, and you probably see that in the slide. And Mumbai has the largest slum population of any city in the world. There's an estimated 6.5 million people that live in slums there. That's 60% of the population. And slums are areas of extreme poverty that often lack access to clean water, electricity, and public transportation. So every time we stepped out of the hotel, someone was begging us for money. Though it felt good to stay in this prestigious hotel, it didn't feel good when at times I looked down on others around me who didn't have what I had, or I made a judgment call on them based on what they didn't have. Not only that, I saw that in a country where there is massive governmental corruption, money talks. It really does. And you can bribe yourself in things and out of things. And so I was extremely privileged in that context, but the majority wasn't. You see, you don't have to live in a third world country like India to experience people using their privilege to manipulate, to belittle, to take advantage of others, or experience people who feel entitled because of their race, their gender, their talent, their socioeconomic status. You can live in a first world country like America and have the same experience. Now, before you start picturing that person or group that you feel that acts privileged or lives with an entitlement mentality, could it be that all of us have acted this way at one time? Could it be that we chose not to listen or allow someone to speak because of their age? Maybe they were too young in your mind to know anything. Or maybe in your mind, they're too old, and what would they know about your generation? Or maybe because of their gender, and she's a woman, what does she know about this? Or they're a guy, what could they know about this female topic? Or you've been at a job for a very long time, and maybe you have seniority there, and this much younger employee gets hired, and you are the one to train them, but you choose to hold some of that training, some of those things that you hold back because you're thinking maybe one day they will take your job. Or how about times when you went to the club and skipped the block long line and walked right in because you knew the owner? Privilege. Or how about you have so much money that you can use it as an advantage over others to get your child into an Ivy League school? Privilege. Or how about that time you looked at that musician cross-eyed when they got the opportunity that you felt you should have got it because you were better? Privilege. See, entitlement, special treatment, favor is not bad in itself. But when it's used to manipulate and take advantage of others, when it's used to demand respect instead of earning it, or demanding rights from others, when it's used to escape accountability for our wrong actions, and or place unrealistic expectations on others and society, expecting preferential treatment or special accommodations because they feel society owes them, then it's misused. And we become a person that others want to avoid rather than follow. See, since all of us can fall into this privilege or entitlement trap, what are some ways we can avoid it? What are some ways that we can avoid that mentality of people owing us things? That mindset of taking advantage of people because we are privileged?